Okay, now on to a more complicated example. First, we have square root of 144, c to the power of 8, d to the power of 6. Okay, so first we know the root outside is gonna be, there's nothing outside, we call them square root, right? So it's still a 2 outside. And then everything inside, we have the power of 144 is 1. Power of c is 8, the power of d is 6. So everything inside right here is called powers. Okay, so based on the rule that we learned from earlier, we always put the power over the roots. So we're gonna rewrite each of this. Okay, remember all of these numbers that I point right here, 144 and the variable c and d, they are called base, right? The base. So the base doesn't change. You're always gonna rewrite them exactly like that. Okay, then you're gonna, if you have the root, you need to rewrite them as fraction on the power. So we're gonna put 1 on top and 2 in the bottom, because the power right here is 1, the root is 2. Same thing over here, power is 8. So put a on top, power of c is 8, the root is 2 over the roots. Power of d is 6 over the root is 2. And now our last step, we always have to simplify it. So let's simplify. 144 to the 1/2 is the same as square root of 144. Is two numbers that multiply to give you 144, and they have to be exactly the same number. Well, we know that from the last lesson is 12 times 12, right? So square root of 144 is 12. So we take care of this number, it's 12. C and D doesn't change. Again, they are the base. Now let's go ahead and simplify a over 2. A divided by 2 is 4, so right on top of C. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so right on top of D. So our final answer is 12, C to the power 4, D to the power 3. Okay, we're not calculating anything, we're just simplifying from this into this. Okay, same question, you're going to take a look at this. The 3 outside is called the root. And everything inside, the 27 and the m, we call them the base, right? So this 27 and m stay the same. Now we need to label the power. 27 is 1. The power of m is 15. So these are the powers. So based on the rule from earlier, we're gonna rewrite each of these with the fraction power, right? So power go on top is 1 over the roots is 3. Every time refer back to the flower, okay? Power over roots. Same thing over here. For m, the power is 15. So you're gonna put 15 on top, and then the root is 3. Like that. Okay, so basically you always divide by the root numbers when it comes to rational exponent, okay? So now let's go ahead and calculate the 27 to 1/3. It's just the same as what 3 numbers. When you multiply, you get 27, but they have to be exactly the same. Okay, that's well. Remember I told you to memorize this from last lesson. I hope you did, and you get the answer is 3. M is just a base, so we're gonna keep the same. And now let's go ahead and divide 15 by 3. Well, the answer is 5, right? So 3m to the power 5 will be our final answer for this. Okay. Now, the next two examples, we need to use a little rule that we did earlier. This rule is called the power rule, power of a product. Okay, so it said that you have things like this inside, products, raised to the power, then each of the power inside will be multiplied by outside, right? So 16 is a number by itself. What's the power of 16? Of course, it's just a number with nothing, so we're gonna put a 1, okay? The power is 1. The power of C, base C is 8. The power of D is 2. So we got that taken care of. Over here, we don't have any roots, but if you remember from last lesson, the 1/2, it just means the square root, right? But we don't need to rewrite them as roots. We just going to calculate this to make them shorter, simplified it, okay? So here we have 16. We're gonna multiply each of the power inside with 1/2, okay? So let's rewrite the base, 16. C and D. Now let's go ahead and multiply 1 times 1/2. 1 times 1/2 become the new power for 16. And then this one C, we have 8 times 1/2. And D, we have 2 times 1/2. Every power inside will be multiplied by the power outside. Okay, so here 1 times 1/2 is just the same as 1/2. 8 times 1/2 is gonna equals to 4. And then 2 times 1/2 equals to 1. Right, so let's go ahead and simplify this. 16, 1 times 1/2 we already calculate as 1/2. C, we calculate here as 4. D, we calculate it become 1. But we don't need to write 1 on the top, okay? Because it's understood as a power of D. Alright, so now, we can also clean this one up. We know that 16 to the 1/2 is the same as square root of 16. So we're gonna have that one is 4. Okay, C to the power 4, D to the power 1 doesn't change. So C4 and D. This is the final answer for that example. Alright. Now I want you to give it a try for the next one. Okay, and then you can pause the video a little bit and then work it out. And then you can check it with the video again. Alright. So same thing like how we did here. Here the power inside is 20 for B. The power of 32 is 1. And the power outside is 1/5. So based on the power rule, x times y to the power of n will be x to the n times y to the n. Remember this on top? Then we're going to distribute the power to each of them by multiplying. Alright, so 32. 1 is going to be multiplied by 1/2 and same with the 20. 1 times 1/2. My bad, 1/5. And then B is already have the power of 20, but because it's been raised to another power, then we're gonna multiply the 2. Okay, so now 32 to the 1 times 1/2 is just 32 to the 1/2. And B, 20 times 1 is 20 divided by 5. It'll give us 4. Right, so B to the power 4 here. And 32 to the 1/2 can be oh, my bad, 1/5. Because 1 times 1/5. My bad. My badness. 32 to the 1/5 will give you 2. Because remember, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 5 times will give you 32. Okay, so that's gonna be 2. And B to the power 4 just stay the same. Okay, so this is how we do the more complicated simplifying. So when you do the practice, you're gonna see a few of them look just like these. Okay, just do a few more practice and then you get it. Don't worry, okay? So speaking of practice, I will show you a few of these. So I have attached 12 questions in there for you to do practice. Okay, now the way that we're going to do is I'm gonna teach you everything on the left, mean all the odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11, and then you're gonna do practice on your own 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12. Okay, to the right side. So here we go. Let me put this one under so it doesn't show the words. Alright, so let's start with the first one. They're going to ask us to convert this into the other form. Okay, so first let's get labeling. Power is the one inside, root is the one outside. Power and roots, and the one right here is called base. So it's all about that base, meaning the base doesn't change. Okay, same as the original. And then remember the flower, power on top, root in the bottom. So we're gonna put a fraction on the right corner, put 12 on top and put 4 in the bottom. Okay, because the power is 12, the root is 4. So let's simplify this. M to the power of 12 over 4 will give us M to the power of 3. Final answer. Okay, you do the same to this one. You do this every time you see the roots. Okay, number 3. Do I see the root? Nope. Maybe I need to convert into the root. But when it comes to multiplying, you need to focus on the rules, right? Power to power means multiply. Here we only have the base is W. So now we're going to multiply 12 with the half. Power to power, you multiply the power. So 12 times 1/2. It's just half of 12. So that's W to the power of 6. Good. Number 5 is the same thing as number 3. Just because it's fraction, but you don't get worried, okay? X to the power of 3 over 5 times 10 over 7. So power means you multiply. X stay the same. Now let's multiply 3 over 5 times 10 over 7. Now this will give you, when you multiply a fraction, multiply across, right? So 3 times 10 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. Now, they both can be simplified by 5. So let's divide each of them by 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 35 by 5 will give you 7. So it's going to become x to the power of 6 over 7. Okay. Number 7. Wow, we see a number, a big number. Put a 1 right there. Okay, so for this number, you're gonna have to do a little bit calculation. So if you're not sure, you can go ahead and put them in the calculator, okay? Or if you have a calculator on your phone, you can calculate that. But the power of 1024 right here, the power is 1. Okay, C have the power of 32. Everything raised to the power of 1 over 4. So that means we're gonna multiply each of the power by 1/4, right? So let's go ahead and do that. It will be 1024. 1 times 1/4. And then C, the power of 32, right? Raised time with 1/4. Okay, so 1124 raised to the 1/4 will give us a decimal number. So we're just gonna keep them the same. Okay, to the 1/4. C, 32 to the 1/4 is the same as 32 divided by 4. So that's give us 8. So for this one, just keep them the same like that. It's fine. Number 9, we have square root of 16, c to the power of a, d to the power of 2. Whoa, that problem looks familiar. We did something like this on the example, right? So first we're going to, every time you see the radical, the root, gotta label the roots. The root right here is 2. And each of the inside, let's see each of them have the power or not. Well, 16 doesn't have a power, so let's put 1. C has a power of 8, D has a power of 2. So that means we're gonna rewrite them, look like number 1, right? So keep the base the same, 16, C and D. Then we're gonna raise to the power over root. Everything inside are powers. So we're gonna put 1 over 2. On the base C, we're gonna put A over 2. And D, we're gonna put 2 over 2. And let's simplify this. Square root of 16 to the 1/2 is the same as, what two exact number multiply give you 16? Well, that's 4, right? So 4 times 4 give you 16. This give you 4. C to the power 4, because A divided by 2 is 4. And D, 2 over 2 give you 1. But we don't need to write a power of 1. So this is the final answer. Alright, number 11. Whoa, what's happening there? We have 2 things. This one have a radical. So yes, we're gonna need to label the outside is root. And the inside is power. Right, so we're gonna put W power over roots. Power over root. That's the first piece. And then the second piece is W. The power that right here is 8. The root is 4. So let's simplify each of them. 16 over 4 give you 4. 8 over 4 give you 2. Now you have 4W and you have 2W. Total, how many W you have? Well, this one will be W to the power of W 4 plus 2. Based on the first rule, right? W 4 times, W 2 times, total is W 6 times. So W to the power of 6 to the last question. Now, when you've done all of this and you feel like you're ready, let's go ahead and take the quiz, okay? But I recommend you're going to do all the questions that I given you on the right side, okay? All the even question based on what we learned from the video on the left. You can take a look and see if you can do by yourself all of these, okay, and review them before you take the test. The quiz. The quiz will have 12 questions and you can only be taken one time. So might as well just be very careful with that and review. I will be available on Power School. If you need a Zoom like video conference, then you can ask me as well. Just send me the question, whatever question you have, and I'll be happy to help you because we're in this together, right? I miss you. I hope you keep learning and keep growing. You will get better with time. And let's hope one day we see each other again. And yeah, let's be positive. Bye guys. Have a great day.